We do have two individuals here tonight, John and Juliana. And so on this same date, John and his wife Juliana were hiking their dog, also in Point Defiance Park. As they entered the trailhead, they started their hike, they began to hear screaming ahead of them. John and Juliana ran towards the sounds of screaming and potential violence, putting their desire to help others above their own safety. They observed a male standing over a female victim and actively stabbing her. Both John and Juliana immediately started talking with the suspect, intending to distract and disrupt his thought process to de-escalate the situation. For a short period of time, this effort was successful. Female's throat. Juliana quickly realized the need to elevate her response to this life or death situation, and she ran up to the male and kicked the male in the side of the head, knocking him off the victim. This caused the male to run away and disappear out of view. As detectives investigated this violent act, the shoe Juliana was wearing became a key piece of evidence. The shoe was submitted to the crime lab for DNA processing. With the crime lab results, detectives were able to link the DNA from the shoe to the suspect. The actions taken that day by John and Juliana were instrumental in helping to solve the case and likely saved an innocent victim's life. For their actions, bravery, and priority to help others at extreme risk to their own safety, it is a great honor and privilege to award John and Juliana with the Medal of Courage. Before we bring them up tonight, as the commander of criminal investigations, I would like to say a couple of things about the great work these men and women do every day here at the Tacoma Police Department. I'm going to ask Detective Ryan Beck, Detective Chad Lawless, Detective Jen Quilio, Detective Scott Hendershot, and Detective McNeely, if you would come up here, please. So this case was something that was a huge concern for Tacoma. Obviously up in the Point Defiance Park, which many families use every day. This case took them in a multi-state direction, and it looked for a minute as if it was going to be international. So I would like to give them a hand for all the work they did here. Thank you. Okay. So at this time, I'd like to invite Victoria, if she would like to say a couple words here.
It has been 1 year, 9 months, and 11 days. There have been many times that I find myself doing the math for how long it's been since I was attacked. While the trauma is still ever present, it lessens with every day I've gotten to have. Thanks to Juliana, John, and Rebecca. Thanks to you all, this is just the beginning of a running clock for how much extra time you've been able to give me. That's extra time with my friends and my family, but also time I've been able to spend learning who I am and experiencing things I've never been able to before. Looking back on that day, I can't imagine the situation you all found yourselves in. While I know it's not my fault for what happened to me, I'm still so sorry that you all experienced what you did. To intervene with a dangerous person actively trying to kill someone, only to then find the blood and the gore that you did, you have both the heart and the stomach to save me. My dad has told me how the memory of seeing me in the ER before surgery still haunts him. Pieces of my face hanging off, my ears slashed in half. More than anything, I wish I could take those memories away from him, and I wish I could take the similar memories away from you all. I know it couldn't have been easy after kicking a man off of me to then lean next to me as I lay bleeding, crying, gasping for air. I remember you reassuring me that I wouldn't die there, that you could hear the sirens and the help was coming as you held my face together and put pressure on my wounds. I know that you all sacrificed your time and peace of mind that day, what should have been a beautiful weekend, to save my life instead, and make sure I made it out of those woods, that I didn't feel alone as I lie there waiting for what felt like forever when I know it was only a couple minutes till help arrived. I won't pretend that recovery has been quick, both physically and mentally. There were days where I was too scared to leave the house. I never went anywhere alone. I was unable to sleep some nights since I felt defenseless. I started moving furniture in front of my door before I go to sleep, and I still keep weapons and bear spray on my nightstand. Being outside, even with my loved ones, was a nightmare. The smell of dirt or grass would throw me back into the woods, lying on the ground, breathing it all in, what I thought were my last breaths. I was especially scared in the 6 weeks that elapsed between my attacker escaping and when we learned he was caught. In going by Jane in my press conference, I hoped to maintain my anonymity, but I still felt scared he would find me. Worse to me, I feared he would find those close to me and hunt down the innocent people who would help me. You all showed a great amount of bravery in knowing that he could turn on you as well. You still faced a man with a knife, looking him in the eye and talking to him, standing up to him. The relief I felt at hearing he was captured, I knew I was safe, but I also realized everyone who had been by my side and helped me was safe for the time being too. And then you all did the bravest and most meaningful thing of all. You testified. You came back, faced this man again in person, and stood up for me in the courtroom. You gave your accounts of what happened, and you bravely told the truth in the presence of my would-be murderer. When the jury read the verdict of guilty, I sobbed from relief. I felt like I had finally been freed from this prison of fear, and you had all saved me once again. You've all given me my life back, and I don't know if I can fully convey the extent to which you've had a lasting impact on my life, but I will try. Where I once was afraid of simply leaving my house, I am now able to go out with friends again, even at night. I spend hours in my garden again without the smell of dirt and grass making me sick. And I love being able to hike with my partner again. I've been able to do more activities with my family. We finally went to the Tulip Festival this year. Over the summer, I got to see one of my closest friends and meet her 1-year-old daughter at her birthday party. This was a child I would have never met if it hadn't been for you all. I cried getting to meet her. I've flown by myself across the country to visit friends this summer, exploring new cities and experiencing food, music, and the outdoors that I'd only ever dreamed of before. As of this month, I now have been to 2 new countries that I always told myself, someday maybe I'll get there, but I now know someday is never promised. I've been terrified of being back in the woods and never thought I could walk solo again. But just 2 weeks ago, I spent an entire day walking through a botanical garden by myself, the first time I've been alone in nature since the attack. And you all gave me that. This month, I traveled to the other side of the world for my best friend's wedding. I never would have thought I could do this. A year ago, I would have said that was insane, but I'm stronger and smarter and braver now. I knew that after what I've survived and meeting people that I could trust, to stand up for myself better and trust the people I was with. Her wedding was a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and you all gave me the opportunity to be there for a friend of 15 years on the other side of the world on the biggest day of her life, and I cannot thank you enough for giving me that. The seconds and minutes it took you to intervene have led to memories and life experience I will now be able to cherish forever. I don't know if I can ever thank you enough, but from the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much for being there for me that day. It is not easy to stand up and interfere in the face of real danger. I think reading the scenario on paper, hearing it in the news, everyone wants to think, of course they would help, but the reality can be a lot more jarring. Hearing screams and choosing to run to the scene and look into it rather than dismissing it as someone with their dog or children playing. You bought me the seconds I needed as I braced myself for the next attack. Intervening and telling the man to stop gave me precious breath to ready myself to keep fighting. And physically interfering as he went for my throat by kicking the man in the head to get him off of me and chasing him away from me, protecting me before the ambulance arrived, were all extraordinary actions that saved my life. The prosecutor's closing arguments at the trial started with the sentence, "Victoria Nizzoli should be dead." And I've known that since I woke up in the hospital. I can't stop thinking about the timing of it all. It was too close. I had been in the wrong place with the wrong person at the wrong time. I was alone, and he had planned it that way. Every second mattered, and there were very few of them left. But you all did what you knew was right in a much more meaningful way. You threw yourselves into a horrifying situation, not knowing the outcome. You all involved yourselves, and you ensured that I ended up with the right people in the right place at the right time. And that's why I'm alive. You've bought me seconds, minutes, hours, days, and years more than I could have ever imagined I would still have ahead of me. Thank you.
So this time I'd like to invite Chief Jackson and the executive leadership up, and John and Juliana, if you would like to come up as well.
From the bottom of my heart, I never thought, that some of the things that you do in law enforcement, you're dealing with some very, heinous crimes. Being able to stand here and present you with the award that means a lot, as I know, particularly not for people as brave as yourself, is something that if this were my last day as the chief, this makes it all worth it. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank you. This is the medal of courage. Also present you with this medal. Thank you.
What are we looking at?
Again, I'd like to thank you all for being here today. Courage like this deserves to be seen and remembered. Your presence makes that possible. Thank you so very much.
Okay. Okay.